Today we'll be going with the next part of your exception handling mechanism. In the previous classes, you have learned with what actually meant by a throw and throws, how actually the throw and throws will be used for defining a simple program, how a throws is going to be helpful as well as throws will be helpful for your programming concept. Okay. Today we'll be going with multiple try, or we can say nested try blocks. The try within another try is nothing but called as a try block in a Java, nested try block. If within another if, nested if, for within another for, nested for, like that we here you are going to have a try within another try is nothing but called as what, a nested try. And how many of the tries you are going to define, that many of catches should be defined. So I want to have a simple example here. A syntax try is going to have embedded with or incorporated with another try, and within that one you are going to have a statement for first try and try with the inner try. You are going to have outer try and inner try. Inner try is having its own catch block, outer try is going to have its own catch block. How you can understand the opening and closing brace, after then you are going to get a catch, means that tries catch statement is that one. So you are going to have a outer try where you are going to have with opening and closing brace. Within that one you are going to have a catch exception, means the tries outer catch and the tries inner catch statement you are going to have. This is the syntax of your try block. Okay. Then we will be proceeding with a simple example on nested try statement. Nested try, within that one you're going to have exception 6, class name or a file name you're going to save. Public static void main, within that one you're going to have a try. Within that try you're going to define with another try. System.out.println going to divide. Going to divide means you're going to divide the information by 39 by 0. So there you're going to exist with arithmetic exception. So you're going to check with an error which is going to have an arithmetic exception. So it is going to be caught. This try is going to be caught here, and you're going to display with the similar error, that is divide by, and divide by 0 is not possible. So E object will be displaying what is the type of exception you have been found. So another try you are going to go for it. Int A of blank is equal to new int of 5. So array of 5 elements will be there. So A of 5 is equals to 4 you are going to have, and next to that one you are going to have array index out of bonds exception A. So array is going to start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So at the fifth location you are dumping 4, where there is no any index format for that 4 to be stored. So you are going to get an error that there is an error within the index which is out of bounds exception. So system.out.println other statement, if you want you can go for executing them. This is not going to be executed because here try is going to say, then you will be going with the catch statement handled. So whatever the try of outer catch statement is here, and you're going to have a normal flow. So how many tries you have been used here? There are 3 different types of tries are there, and subsequent catch statements are also present over there. Means for every try statement there should be a catch, then only we can execute very smoothly the particular program. So this is all about your nested try statement. Okay, nested try means a try within another try. Try, catch, subsequent, try, subsequent catch, and outer try, outer catch, subsequent statements. Sorry. Then we can go for the next one, which is nothing but called as an error. Multiple catch statements where only one try will be there, and that try will be generating an error, and among any one of these exceptions will be caught depending on what type of exception that that particular event is going to generate. Okay, so we're going to have here, and a try block can be followed by one or more catch blocks. Okay, you can define with many more catch blocks. If a try is there, compulsory you should have to define with a catch. but one try can define with many catches. Each catch block must contain a different exception handler. That is important here. Don't write same exception name in both the catches. For example, you think like that. We here three different types of catches is there, and three different types of exceptions are used. One is arithmetic exception. Another one is array index out of bounds exception. Another next is what? An exception, general exception. Okay. So he is going to say like that. If you are going to define catch three times and arithmetics three times, means that is useless. It is not going to be useful. Okay. So one try can generate with many more exceptions that can be handled by different types of catch statements. If you have to perform different tasks at the occurrence of different exceptions, you use Java multi-catch block. Points to be remembered. At a time, only one exception occurs, and at a time, only one catch block is executed. When this try block is going to generate one exception, means it is going to call one type of catch statement. All catch blocks must be ordered from most specific to most general. It is going to have a specific here. Arithmetic exception is specific, or array index out of bounds is specific, and you want to go for a general exception. That is, catch for exception and exception, arithmetic exception must come before the catch for exception. So you want to written here. Generic exception should be written afterwards if any of the specific exception is not executed. At that time, general exceptions can be executed. We can go with a simple example here. Multiple catch block 1, where you're going to have with int a of 5. A of 5 is equal to 30 divided by 0. 30 divided by 0 means an arithmetic exception error you're going to have. You're going to have with what? Arithmetic exception that will be caught by a first statement, and it is going to generate that exception of arithmetic exception occurs. So you are written here. You are not written the object value. Object, if you are going to write object value, it is going to display the system error. If you are going to write a normal statements here, whatever the normal statements will be there, it will be displayed over there. Then afterwards you are going to go for rest of code. So if you are having anything, it is going to execute. What you can understand from this one? Try can generate many more of exceptions, and those all will be handled by some different set of expressions or catch statements or exception names. These whatever you have learned, they are called as built-in exceptions, which are been there, just you are using them. We can call them as built-in exceptions. Now in the next part we are going to discuss how an user is going to generate his own exception and how it is going to be executed by using user defined exceptions. You will be following some steps here. Sometimes the built-in exceptions in Java are not able to describe a certain situation. In such cases, user can also create exceptions which are called as user-defined exceptions. He used to have to follow the steps to create an user-defined exception. The user should create an exception class as a subclass of exception class. What do you mean by that one? We can't create the exact exception name. We will be taking a help of already present exception which is present within the throwable class of a Lang program. Just you are going to take that one and you are going to create your own exception. The name of the exception class will be different, which are already present. Okay. Since all the exceptions are subclasses of exception class, the user should also make his class as a subclass of it. This is done by defining with like this way. Now you are having here class my exception extends exception, means this could be used in catch statements by default by using any problem. Without having any problem, we can define that one. We can write a default constructor in his own exception class called as my exception. As usually how the constructors can be created, you can define like that way. We can also create a parameters constructor with a string as a parameter. So you are going to have my exception string of str super of str. Super means it should be allocated to the super class called as exception. Okay. To arise the exception of user defined, we need to create an object for this class and throw it using the throw class as shown. My exception is your class name. me is the object, and you are creating an object called as exception details as a value. Exception details will be sent here through me. This through me will be sending to string str, and it is going to execute with your superclass. Superclass means already present exception statement. Okay, the following program illustrate. Now we're going to go with a simple example here. Here you have been written with a program demonstrate user defined exception. This program stores an exception whenever balance amount is below rupees 1000. When there is an amount lesser than 1000 rupees, it is going to show the exception. So you're going to have class my exception extends exception, private static int of account number array. You are having 4 values, and you are going to have a string values of 5, and you are going to have a balance of 5. Respondingly, Ayush is going to have 10,000, 12,000, 5,600, 999, 1100, like that. Venu, Jayant and Mohit, they are going to have. Then you are going to write with a default constructor my exception, and another one my exception string str super str. Super str means it will be sending to this one, not this. This is your own class, and this is the super class of your subclass. So public static void mean try. Within that try block, you are going to first display the informations like account number, customer, balance at actual way. Then afterwards, for int I is equal to 0 is lesser than I plus plus. Then system dot println, it is going to display first account number as 1001. Then you are going to have a customer name Ayush, and the balance is 10,000. So it is going to check over here condition. Balance of Ayush, 0th position you are going to have with 0 you are started. 0th position you are going to have 10,000 is lesser than 1000. No, it is greater than 1000. So it has been sent, and you are going to come back to the part. Then 12,000, 5,000, 999 is lesser than 1000. So my exception, you caught an exception here because the 5,600 is better, there is no any problem, but 999 is lesser than 1000 rupees. So my exception object will be caught new my exception balance is lesser than 100,000. So through me means it is a object which is going to define for your statement, and it will be sent here my exception string of str superclass. This will send to the catch statement e dot print stack trace. What is the problem? It is going to display each and everything. This is how we are going to create an exceptions for your own exceptions. Okay, so I'll be ending here. Rest other things we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you.